with the sad eyes. Don't be discouraged, oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you makes you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you're taking all you can bear, just call me up, 'cause you know I'll be there. And I see your true colors shine through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. If this world makes you crazy and you're taking all you can bear, just call me up, 'cause you know I'll be there. And I'll see your true colors shining through. I'll see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors, your true colors are shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Show me your colors. Oh, it's so beautiful, like a rainbow.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody online, watching live in person or in archives. Welcome to the Centre for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Tenets. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. As I say every week, if you are new with us, you were given a program when you came in. Lyrics to some of the songs we're singing today are in there, as well as some announcements. I just want to point out a couple of things. First of all, we've been offering chair yoga after service on Sundays. Julaine, would you like to stand up? This is the lovely Julaine who is doing yoga. For those of you going, who is teaching the yoga? It is Julaine. So join her today for chair yoga, starting about 15 minutes after service again, yeah, if possible. And it is it's free, but if you'd like to make a donation to the center, we would greatly appreciate that. The other thing I want to point your attention to is the One Step Health workshop that will be happening Sunday afternoon, July 26th. You can register in the bookstore today. It's $25. Can you also register online, Jonathan? Not yet. You can't register online yet. And it will be an in-person workshop. It will not be offered online. So you'll want to come here that day and take the fabulous workshop. So that's it for announcements that I need to point out to you. So let's get this party started. Reverend Jonathan Zenz, why don't you come on now?
All of a sudden, it's The Price is Right.
Let's just sing.
Yeah,
Let's do it. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Woo. That brightens up a rainy day, doesn't it? Yeah, good morning. How is everyone this morning? Oh, I'm so grateful that you've all decided to be here and join us on this beautiful rainy morning. Isn't this been quite a storm? Wow, like crazy. But I love it. I love the rain. It's, it washes away all that needs to be washed away, and it leaves everything refreshed and renewed, and it's such a good feeling. I'm a little out of breath. There we go. So, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. It is a joy to have you join us here today. I want to say a special welcome to anyone who's joining us for the first time. I'm grateful that you've brought your consciousness to this experience today and are sharing with us in this celebration. And it is a celebration, yes. Lots to celebrate in the world, for sure. Certainly being a citizen of the U.S. and, but maybe not for too much longer. I mean, not that I'll ever give that up, but maybe someday I'll be a dual citizen, maybe.
Yes.
But currently I am still a citizen of the U.S., and it was great news that came out of the, it's great news that came out of the United States in this week. So really grateful for that. And it's a perfect time because we are celebrating here in Toronto, we're celebrating Pride, and and it's not just about gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer pride. It's about being proud of who you are regardless of who that is. And so I'm grateful to each and every one of you as allies of living life and loving, because that's what it really all boils down to, is living life and just loving. And that's what I celebrate at Pride every year. Yes? Yes. So, we have a beautiful, let me see, what else do I want to say before I introduce the next lovely, beautiful individual? I think I'm just going to introduce her. We have in this center amazing people who have committed their lives to knowing the highest truth and living consciously and not allowing themselves to slip off course And yet, if they do, and because it happens to me sometimes, when we slip off course, we have tools that we have all trained ourselves to utilize to get back on course. And this is why they have become licensed within this center as practitioners of spiritual truth. I am grateful to our core of practitioners and grateful for what they bring and the wisdom that they share. Here today to share with you her wisdom, please welcome to the lectern Judy Southern.
Thank you. I have a quote for you. And this is from, oh gosh, it's hard to see everything, you know. This is from Eric Butterworth from Spiritual Economics. And this is a quote that you've heard before, but it really bears repeating. And it really speaks to the truth for me. Seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing. You see things not as they are, but as you are. I love that. I've seen it on Facebook expressed in different ways, but this just always resonates with me because this is the truth. And you know, the truth has always been important to me. In any relationship I've ever had, and I may have caused problems over that, I've always needed to know the truth. The truth is so important to me. And of course, in spiritual mind treatment, we know the truth. Practitioners were asked to contribute something to our prayer room. And because the truth is so important to me, the thing that I found that I wanted to contribute, which is in the prayer room now, are 3 lapis lazuli stones. They're that beautiful, beautiful blue. And they are, I discovered, I didn't know until I went looking, they're this universal symbol of truth. And I thought, this is perfect for me because of how I feel about the truth. And that's what we do as spiritual practitioners, licensed practitioners. We know the truth. And as Jonathan says, sometimes we slip off every now and again, but we have the tools. And we look at the belief that causes the effects. Oh, what a comforting concept that is for me, to learn and to embody through the creative process. And somebody asked me a while ago when I said I had finished practitioner studies, it wasn't that long ago, was it? Said, what was the biggest aha? And I said, the biggest aha was that I discovered and have embodied and know and live that I live in a world of cause and effect. That has really, really, really changed my life. I live in a world of cause and effect. And what we see in our outer world is a projection of what we think, believe, and feel. And behind every belief, behind every feeling is a belief. And those beliefs from way back when, it always amazes me how indoctrination stays with you. There still are some beliefs that are lingering there. And for me, it's been a lifetime of identifying them. And we have the option to change our lives and change our beliefs. We can see something different. So believing is seeing. This is the truth. So last week when Lena spoke on Father's Day, I wasn't as touched by my father as a lot of people are. In fact, I was a little stone cold. And then when we stood up and sang the song about the gratitude song, and we sang gratitude for our fathers, that's when I had this emotional tug, a huge emotional tug, and I realized that probably there's a little more healing to take place, and understanding the truth of who my father really is. You see, I grew up with a father who was an alcoholic. He wasn't a mean person, but he did drink a lot, so it did affect my life, affected our lives, my brother and sister and I. And I grew up, I know this sounds really harsh, but I grew up, because my mother was really strong, I grew up to believe that women are strong and men are weak. And I'm sorry, gentlemen, I don't feel that way now. I have overcome that. But that's how I grew up. Now, I am grateful for that, because it has given me incredible strength, which I have needed throughout various life situations. But those were my role models. A strong mother and what I perceived as a weak father. So I was an angry, angry woman in my 20s, angry at my father. So I couldn't share that belief on Father's Day that, you know, what's that song? Oh, my papa, to me you are so wonderful. It's like, that's not how I have felt. However, I phoned my sister on Sunday night and I said, what does Father's Day mean to you? She lives in Edmonton. And we talked about our feelings about our father, and we focused on the good. There were some good things. We used to sit by the radio, and I'm dating myself. We used to listen to Boston Blackie and Our Miss Brooks. We just used to sit around and listen to the radio before there was TV. And I was Daddy's little girl every now and again. I did sit on his knee and sing. So those were some good memories, but they really were overshadowed by huge anxiety and fear and lack. So I didn't have those same feelings on Father's Day. You see, my father was born in Germany during World War I. Boy, I'm old. But he was old when he had me. So he came to Canada. He had 10 brothers and sisters, and he decided when he saw Hitler coming to power, and this is his journey, that it was time to get out. So his father bought him a ticket, got on a boat, a ship, and sailed to Canada. And on the way to Canada, his mother died. Oh man, and that must have been, I didn't know this. I didn't grow up with this knowledge at all. I learned this as an adult to understand who my father is and what his journey was and what he went through. He got to Canada before World War II. And of course, when World War II broke out, he was a German living in a very unfriendly country to Germans, spat upon. And he married a Canadian woman. So that couple, my mother and father, probably had some challenges to live. And of course, that would have been part of our life. Not that I knew anything. It was all hidden. We weren't a communicative family. So there was a disconnect. So for a long time, I probably was a little disconnected. So that's just who my father was. So I feel differently about my father these days. And I've done a lot of work on writing forgiveness letters during various retreats, that kind of thing. But last Sunday, I realized there was a little more healing to happen. So that's why I called my sister. I wouldn't change a thing, because there were so many gifts that brought me to who I am today. And I like who I am today. I don't hold that back at all. And I surrender. I'm no longer alone. I'm no longer angry. And I'm not disconnected. And you know, as I learned the truth about my father, I learned the truth about God, whom we sometimes refer as Father, the male energy. So, funny thing, science of mind, I learned the truth about God because the truth is so important to me. It's the same process, the indoctrination as a Catholic and the feelings growing up in the home that I grew up in. So I continue to make changes and reveal more healing. This is a lifelong process. And I must say that science of mind philosophy came to me at a very good time. So there was science of mind courses, the Sunday services, practitioner studies, and the conference. It was the icing on the cake. And the next day, about 2 days later, Tuesday, I was in a place and somebody said to me, "How was the conference?" I said, "Just try and stress me." and life looks different now, and life looks different to me now. My father looks different to me now as well. And God is different to me now too, as a result of that. So I have an affirmation. I'd invite you to say it with me a couple of times. I decide to live consciously and make constructive changes to my life. I decide to live consciously and make constructive changes to my life. I decide to live consciously and make constructive changes to my life. Namaste.
I decide to live consciously and make constructive changes to my life. This is the power we have. Regardless of any circumstance that has come before this moment, you are at choice right here and right now as to how you relate to that circumstance. And the relationship that you have to that circumstance is the way your life unfolds. It's a choice. I am grateful for this choice. This song, I think, is a perfect song for this moment. So I invite you all to relax right where you are and just be. And when you feel compelled, sing along. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. And so from this place of awareness, I invite Judy to lead us in a spiritual mind treatment.
For I know without a doubt, there is one loving presence, one divine presence that operates throughout all of life, and that in fact operates throughout each of us, in us, through us, as us. We are divine expressions of all that God is, for we call this presence God. We are all divine expressions. Every single person on this planet is a divine expression of all that God is. And in this knowledge, in the comfort of this knowledge, I know that life is unfolding perfectly, and that all that is good is what wins us over, what allows us to live effortlessly, gracefully with God. I know this is the truth. And in this special celebration this Sunday, this is so prominent, so much on our minds. This is the truth of who we are. We are love, we are light, we are life, we are truth. So let us radiate our love and our light today. Let us send that love and light to each person we come into contact with. Let us be the change that is changing the world right now in this very moment. So I release these words to the perfect law of mind that only knows to say yes. And I know that these words are they are fact in mind right now. I let it go, I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. Thank you, Judy. I'm holding on to this one, Carrie, just so you're aware, yeah. Because we're singing a song today. That was beautiful. I really want to acknowledge that. I don't want to rush past that moment. That was really beautiful, and I'm grateful to you for sharing your story and for sharing the point of view you have about it now. And that's really important to me, and I'm grateful that you had that willingness. So there's this song. There's this song that we sang as part of the conference. We're not singing it again today, just to be clear. Although it's a great song. That was a great song, right? That song there were a lot of great songs that day. I mean, Pierre and his music is extraordinary. But we sang this song by this band called A Great Big World. And they aren't tremendously well known except for one massive hit that they've had. That song, Say Something, I'm Giving Up on You. That's their humongous hit, right? Anyway, so we sang one of their songs at the conference, and Tanis, asked me what songs we should do for today. And she suggested that we do True Colors, and I said, we did True Colors 2 years ago on the Pride Sunday. I said, let's do that as the opening song. And then as a joke, seriously, as a joke, I sent them this song. I said, maybe we should do this song.
We were all over it.
And they responded back and they said, we're absolutely doing that song. And I thought, okay. And that's really, I think, except I'm going to have another sip of water, that's really the only introduction that I'm going to give to this song. Oh, the reason that I brought it up, it's by A Great Big World, the same band. That's why I brought up A Great Big World. And I have to look at the lyrics, I'm sorry, because I just didn't have time.
Because you didn't think we were going to do it.
I didn't think we were going to do it.
Careful what you wish for.
If you're gay, then you're gay. Don't pretend that you're straight. You can be who you are any day of the week. You are unlike the others, so strong and unique. We're all with you. If you're straight, well, that's great. You can help procreate and make gay little babies for the whole human race. Make a world we can live in where the one who you love's not an issue. 'Cause we're all somewhere in the middle. We're all just looking for love to change the world. What if the world stopped spinning tomorrow? We can't keep running away from who we are. If you're gay, then you're gay. If you're straight, well, that's great. If you fall in between, that's the best way to be. You've got so many options. Every fish in the sea wants to kiss you. 'Cause we're all somewhere in the middle. We're all just looking for love to change the world. What if the world stopped spinning tomorrow? We can't keep running away from who we are. And we're all here in it together. We're one step closer to breaking down the walls. Everyone is gay. Hooray! Isn't that a great song? Worth coming to service. It was worth coming through on your arcs to get here today just for that. It's funny. I didn't so we rehearsed it, of course, a number of times this morning, and really just now I had such a reaction. We're one step closer to breaking down the walls. That lyric really hit me today in just that moment. Whew. So it is, it's an interesting weekend. It's Pride here in Toronto and in New York City and in San Francisco, and what a pride they're celebrating, I'm sure, this weekend. we take it for granted here in Canada that same-sex marriage, or just marriage in general, for whomever wants to be married, has been legal here for a decade. And it was very funny to me. I mean, if you follow me on Facebook, I posted that thing where the people who were so upset with the Supreme Court's ruling, talking about how they were ready to leave the U.S. and they were going to move to Canada because gay marriage was... They were just so upset with the healthcare ruling in the U.S. and they're upset with gay marriage, and let's go to Canada. Hey, I have news for you. So today I'm calling the talk "Be Who You Are," and it's really based on this idea of if we can all just be who we are without fear, the world would be a much better place. And when that point of view, when that point of view of who we are is coming only from the place of love, love only, love, love, love. And I'm not talking about just romantic love, even though romantic love is right in there with it. I am talking about love as the creative source. Love is the only creative source. Anything other than love, ultimately at the end of the day, is destructive. And that's what I really, really am clear on today, that we are proliferating love. That's what I'm committed to doing within this community and what I share with you each and every week. So be who you are. Be who you are. Is there any, rhetorical? Is there any part of you that is sitting here today that is afraid of any part of who you are? I just want you to take that and allow that to be in your mind right here. Because I'll tell you, there are still things that I'm afraid of. There are still things that bring up fear in me around my self-expression. And the great news is that I have worked through these things and I have tools now that help me. It's why, it's really, today for some reason is about the tools of the trade, the tools of this spiritual philosophy that really have helped me come a long way in my growth as an individualized expression of this divine creative resource, which is love. On Friday, I was thinking about this talk and about what I wanted to say, and I actually went back and looked at the previous 3 services where I spoke on the weekend where it was Pride. Can you believe this is the 4th time that it's Pride that I've been here? I can believe it. Yes, I can believe it, because if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't see it, right, Judy? I can believe it. But I'm excited. I'm so excited to still be here. And I'm so grateful for this community. But I looked at those talks, and I even see through those talks a shift in terms of how I'm approaching the world in terms of my ministry. And I love that we have this opportunity to grow and that I get to grow in front of you every single week. Something new has come to mind. And this is one of the things I think is very important in terms of how we express, and this is for all the practitioners and the ministerial students, is that we must not be afraid, and actually it's for everybody, we must not be afraid to stand in who we are honestly and in integrity in any area of our lives. And that's what I'm always looking to do from this platform, to just stand in my truth and in integrity in front of you all and simply allow my journey to be in some way inspirational to your journey. That's the way I approach ministry. I don't really want to stand up here and tell you what to think. That's not my job. All I'm saying is that this is something that has worked for me, this frame of mind, the method that I utilize, the how do I think, is what has changed my life dramatically. And so I'm not here to say you have to believe one thing or another. All I'm saying is get in touch with what you do believe. What do you believe? And allow that to be okay. So I watched those services, and I talked about my journey. I talked about my journey of coming out when I was 18 years old, and what that was for me, and the difficulty that I faced in that. And one of the things that I thought I had really talked about over a Pride weekend, but I have not, is this concept. And I actually brought it up at the Forte concert last week as the introduction to the song that I sang, which is this. Coming out at 18 was quite a journey. And it had its ups and its downs, and that's more than 2 decades in the past now. When I came out of the closet as a spiritual person, that was infinitely harder. It was infinitely harder for me. And it's because spirituality gets a bad rap, I think, in some ways these days. To claim that there is something more, that we're not just, accumulations of bone and tissue and cells. There is something more. There is a life force that is moving through each and every one of us. And to know that that life force is who I am, and it is greater than what I experience, because it is the body of the universe, to come out of the closet and say that this is who I am and this is what I stand for, that was infinitely scarier. Because also, in the communities that I had been involved with, the concept of anything that smacked of what was considered religion was something that was frowned upon. And you see it now. You see with what's happening in the United States, the ruling has come down, and the vehement backlash are from people who are very vocally stating that it is against God's nature. I mean, that's not all, but that's the thing that I see being so prevalent. And it takes out of context it takes out of the context of this conversation, anyone who is spiritual and believes in God, believes that there is God energy. I believe that there is God in all things. What I don't believe is that God is something out there separate from me that is passing judgment. And that's where I tend to differ with some religious ideologies, right? And that's what we teach. We don't teach that there is God out there. We teach that there is God here. And that is what is important, is that when we are allowing the God energy that is within, which is love, that is what it is. And it's funny, we always tend to go to the heart. We call it mind, but mind is not this. Mind is this. This is mind. This is the universal mind within each and every one of us that is expressing from this point and shows up in form as us. And actually, the individualized expression of mind goes far beyond the physical limitations of our body. I believe in God, and I believe that God is expressing perfectly as me and as each and every one of us. We're all in it together. We are all in it together. We're all just looking for love to change the world. What a great lyric that is. We're all just looking for love to change the world. And so I celebrate what has happened in the United States with the thought of, well, it's about time. It's about time. We are at the forefront of a universal shift in the collective consciousness. I have felt this since I stumbled into religious science, into the science of mind philosophy 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. Almost 11 years ago now. The things that warm my heart are things like this. When I have experience with my nephews who are 12 and 9 and 12, whichever direction you want to go, when I have experiences with them, for them, it's no big deal that I have a boyfriend. Think about that. What are we teaching our youth? What are we teaching our kids? Because we can teach them that love is all there is, and that the expression of love is paramount in the expression of a great life. Because when we love, we cannot help but live a great life. if we are putting our focus, our mind on anything other than love, well, what are we creating in our world? Because it is, as Judy said, believing is seeing. When we put our minds on the things that we feel are destructive, when we put our minds on discrimination of any kind, then we have forgotten who we are. And when we forget who we are, that's when life begins to fall apart. So I'm grateful for my sister and her husband for teaching my nephews this great lesson, that love is the only thing that matters. And that it doesn't matter if you're gay, it doesn't matter if you're straight, bisexual, transgender, queer, however you want to identify. And that's the thing. Maybe we should stop identifying ourselves altogether as anything other than God. Because the minute we have identified ourselves as one thing, we have limited the experience. You know, one of the things that I've always said, and if Dane, if you're watching, just know that I love you dearly, and this is probably not what's going to happen. But I have said from the moment I came out of the closet that I did not think that there was although I identify as gay, I did not think that it was not out of the realm of possibility that I could fall in love with a woman. Because at the end of the day, it's not the gender. It is the individual energy, the individualized energy. That is what attracts me. You know, it's the soul. It's right, it's the soul that I'm attracted to. And there have been women that I have been very deeply in love with. At this point in my experience, I am happily with a man. Very happily with a man. It's funny. I was asked this morning where he was. He's decided to sleep in and just be home today, which is his right. As I say, it's church, not prison. Even though sometimes I watch the videos and I think with this wall, it looks like we're in prison. I was going somewhere with that, now I've lost it. Don't label. Oh, we're talking about labels. We're talking about how do we identify. That's what I was talking about. Anyway, so I identify as a gay man. However, I do not rule out of the realm of possibility that I could have fallen in love with a woman. Now, I do choose at this point, and you know what? Oh, this is going to drive my gay friends crazy, because the minute I say this, they're all going to be up in arms. I choose to be with a man. I choose to be with a man. I could just as easily choose to be with a woman. My life's expression, my life's journey, at the core level is all about choice. Now, am I compelled in a certain direction? Yeah, I am. But, oh yeah, this is going to get me in so much trouble. Because I could very well say I choose to live my life as a gay man. And that may be a soul's choice. It may be a choice that I made before I came into this experience of time and space on this realm, in this plane of action. But at the end of the day, every expression, everything, every way we express is a choice. Everything, whether you think it is or not, we live lives of choice. And we are infinite beings. We are infinite in our expression. There has never been a beginning to us, and there never will be an end to us. We are experiencing a limited experience just in mind and in the expression of mind on this plane of action. And I'm having a good time in that experience. But the soul's journey is a journey of choice. And so I do believe, and I don't, you don't have to agree with me, I do believe on some level I made the choice to live this experience as a gay man. And so if I take it back to the infinite level of choice, I chose to be gay. See, and it makes all those people crazy because they want to say, I didn't choose to be gay, it's how I am. You know what? That's great. At some level, we did choose. I chose to be a man. I chose to be in this expression of a body. See, because choice never ends. Choice is infinite. And who knows when I make my transition, when I do, at some point, make my transition into the next experience of this individualized expression of love, I might be a woman. Who knows? The thing is, it's all within, all of it. The infinite possibility is within. And so while I am here, in this plane of action, I'm going to live up to the choices that I have made and live in integrity with who I say I am. And when I forget, I will pull it back and I will remind myself that at the end of the day, I am love. And that's all that matters. I am the infinite, abundant expression of love. And you know what? So are you. Each and every one of you is the expression of love. When we come to that place of understanding, then things like having to have a court system that rules whether or not same-sex marriage is legal will not need to be. Because nobody would ever think anything other than, well, it's a perfectly natural expression of love and life. And so I stand here today to call upon my brothers and sisters in ministry, in all ministries, to remember that love is at the core of what is being taught. And if it's not at the core of what my brothers and sisters are teaching, to rethink their expression on this plane of action. And I'm not here to judge, because that would put me at the level of their judgment against me. But I call upon all of them to simply step into love and get to the heart of what that means, because love is not an intellectual practice. Love is an embodiment. When we embody love, we cannot help but understand that when I look at Judy, all I see is love. When I look at Derek, all I see is love. It is a practice. And there are days when I'm challenged in this practice. There are days when I'm really challenged in this practice. As I come to the center throughout the week, usually what I live near Broadview and Mortimer, and I walk down Broadview, and they've just finally put in a Starbucks right at Broadview and Danforth. So I walk to that Starbucks, and there's this one gentleman, a home free, someone who is free of a home at the moment. I don't want to say a homeless gentleman, someone who is free of a home at the moment, who sits and asks for change, asks if I have any spare change. And I walk past him every day, and some days I have change in my pocket. Most of the time, though, I think, well, if you took a card, that would be easier, because I don't typically carry cash. You just wait. But as I pass him every day, there are days when I'm challenged with seeing him for who he is, which is a perfect individualized expression of love. And I don't know the circumstances that allow him to be where he is in this experience of being home free. And I won't claim to know. But all my job is to look upon him and understand that he is love. And when I do that, the circumstances of his life are not something that I can judge. Because a lot of us may judge, well, how did they allow themselves to get to that place? You know, it doesn't matter. What we can do is give of our hearts to the degree that we can, do what we can with what we have right where we are. I'm not saying that we are all going to go out and start throwing cash at every home-free person we see.
Can I say something? Because I was
If you're going to, though,
really short. I just wanted to say.
but I need you to do it into a microphone, just because of the recording.
I, as a person with a caring heart like everybody here, I would be passing so many homeless people, and I would feel terrible that I didn't do anything about this. And and there's a housing shortage.
Mhm.
And anybody can actually end up there.
Mhm.
And so I just resolved that I would make sure that when I left the house, I would have a toonie at least to give to one homeless person. That's all.
Great.
And then I feel okay.
It's a wonderful practice. It's a wonderful practice. And that's great. It's coming from a place of love and understanding and knowing who you are and recognizing, but you know what? It's not a drop in the bucket. Here's what it is, because we may think that a toonie is less than. It's not. It is an expression of abundance. And if we diminish a toonie, then we might as well diminish $1 million. Because in the universal mind, there is no difference between great and small. So what we perceive as small may be exactly what that individual needs right in that moment, and it may be humongous to that person. It is. It is absolutely showing caring. And it is approaching life from that place of love. Thank you. Thank you. So, really, the message today is this. Love wins. It's a great hashtag that's been going around. Love wins, right? That's why I put it on the song sheet today, if you don't mind. Love wins. Happy Pride. Love wins. Love always wins. It can't not win. When we approach life from love, then we cannot live life as anything other than who we are. So, be who you are, which is love, and nothing else. I think that's all I have to say today. You know, some days it's just like, that's it. I feel complete. I bless you, I honor you, I am grateful for everyone and your consciousness and your presence here in this center, and I'm grateful for what you bring to my life. I love you all. Namaste. I'm going to invite you to take out whatever it is you're offering the center today in terms of a financial contribution, with the reminder, there is no greater small to the soul that maketh all. And so whatever you're offering today, let it be a gift given from love. Let it be a gift that is given freely of the heart and without a sense of obligation. There is no obligation here. As we give, so we receive. And this is the perfect law of circulation that is at work right here in this place. And I remind each and every one of us that what this allows this center to do is to proliferate the message of love more and more and more. And a portion of everything that we give goes back out into the world as love. And so allow that to be the point of view from which you give today. And if you are online and you would like to participate in the sharing, you can press the donate button on your screen. As the baskets go around, let's let this breath work itself out. And we're going to sing,
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed today.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. Oh, I'm so grateful for all that I have. Ooh, I'm so blessed. Oh, I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful, grateful, grateful. I'm so blessed. Well, we are so blessed. We are so blessed. Oh, we're so grateful. So blessed, we're so grateful, grateful, grateful. We're so blessed. We are so blessed. Oh, we are so blessed. We're so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed.
Indeed we are. I'm going to invite Judy to do a blessing over the offering.
We are so blessed indeed. Each and every one of us here is so blessed. And I am so grateful for the gifts in these baskets, the gifts of love, these blessings that allow this center to reach out and to touch each of us and to touch the world. So knowing that this is the truth, I release these words, I let it go, and together we say, and so it is.
Yes, and so it is. We are so very blessed in this community. We are blessed with the camaraderie. We are blessed with the leadership. We are blessed with the community that we have created together. I'm not ready for what is about to happen to this community in my life. And I'm going to talk about my personal journey to being here, and you basically do know this if you have been here or you've ever heard me talk about how I got here. Toronto was always in my mind as a place I wanted to be. And when I was going through ministerial school, Toronto was always one of the top places on my list of cities where I'd like to have my ministry. And as I would look at Toronto, I'm not leaving. I see the look that comes over Judy's face of, what's happening? No. I would look at this center, knowing that it had a spiritual director, and I would go on Google Street View and be like, look at that little place, and where is it? Oh, I see, it's right back there. And lo and behold, my consciousness allowed me to be here. When I graduated from ministerial, that day I had passed my oral panel, and I posted on Facebook, I passed, and there was an individual who wrote back right away and said, congratulations, by the way, we need a minister, because that was right when Rev B had resigned. And so if it had not been for this individual, I might not be here now. And now it is time for us to say bon voyage to him, because he is taking a job that is taking him away from Toronto. In fact, it's taking him to Shanghai, China. Yes, China. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite Helen to come up. And we're going to celebrate the vice president of our board, Tony Matthews. So I'm going to ask Jim if you could take over the camera, and Tony, if you could come down here. Tony. What can I say? I love you. And I am going to miss you. You have been special to me in my life, whether you know it or not. And he's also been my roommate for the last year and a half, too. That's another thing, like Tony and I live together. Now Tony's moving away.
Nothing to do with my leaving. Poor cats.
But there's really nothing that I can say except that I am grateful for all that you have meant to me in my life, and I am knowing that this is not the end. This is simply another expression of your life, and I'm so excited for you. And so, Helen. Invite Helen to say something as well.
Tony. Oh. Okay, I was really good until this moment. Now I'm going to lose it. We are so appreciative of what you have brought to this community. And Tony and I have been through a lot over 6 years. A lot. And he's been my steady rock through a lot of thick and thin, as he has been for a lot of people in this community. And I think you can tell by the tears of not only Jonathan and me, but everybody else in the room, that we love you so much. We're so happy for you also that you have an incredible opportunity in the next step in your journey. And you will be very, very missed here in your Toronto community. And will always be your community. Always. And we want you to remember us. And which I know you won't forget us. But we do have something for you to remember you by. And this is a gift from the community to you. And that you can take these wherever you go and use them. In China, yes, you could open them.
I found out in China you don't open the gift in front of people.
Oh.
Oh.
We're not
You're
in
not there
China,
yet.
we're in Toronto. Oh my. Oh, wow.
And red is very auspicious in China. And so whenever you are eating, you will be reminded of us. Because you can take those wherever
If you know me, I eat a lot. So
I do know you.
thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And there is a card. And for anyone, I know it's been floating around, but for anyone else who would like to sign it, please do so before you leave so that you can take a little bit of us with you. And you can pack it. It won't be,
Yeah,
it won't be
it'll
too
be
heavy.
easy.
Yeah, it'll be easy for you to pack. Love you.
There's that part of me that thinks, is there anything to be said? And I think there is not. So I invite you to simply relax and breathe into whatever it is that has touched you today. Allow that to be at the forefront of your mind right here, right now. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. I find God, I find myself. And in finding myself, I find God, and I recognize that there is no finding to be done when I simply know that I am love. I live this, and I understand this, and I allow only love. I trust and know that each and every one of us is a perfect, perfect expression of love, and that this is the point of view from which all unfolds right here and right now and in every moment to follow. There is nothing but an embodiment of this creative energy that we all share, and I know that at the end of the day, love wins because this is the point of view. This is the only acceptable point of view. I am grateful for this community. I am grateful to every single individualized expression that comes together in this experience to know only this one truth and to live only this one truth. And I trust and know that we each of us take it with us today as we celebrate the idea of love in the world. I am grateful for everyone who stepped up today, who steps up in every moment of their lives. I am in eternal gratitude. I want to offer my specific gratitude today for Linda and Carol, our board members on duty. Grateful for Lori setting up Women Terry as our greeters today. I am grateful to Marg in the bookstore, Carrie on the sound. Grateful for Jim helping out today on camera, but I am eternally grateful for all that Tony has done, especially today. I am grateful for what you have contributed to this center, what you've contributed to my life, and the ministry that you have expressed to me. I am grateful. Grateful to Pierre Gautreau, the entire Queen Street Band. I am grateful to Mahala and her service to our youth. I am grateful for Sonia and her meditation this morning. I am grateful to the infinite wisdom that has flowed through Judy and continues to flow through Judy. I am grateful. And I'm grateful to each and every member of this community for showing up. Not just here, but in life. And so in gratitude, I simply allow, relaxing into this moment, letting it go, to that universal law that says, yes, it is done. The word spoken is complete right here and right now, and I let it go. I let it be so as I relax, release, and allow. And together we say, and so it is.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God. Oh, I find God. I find myself.
Namaste. So to kick it out into the street today, and to this beautiful, prideful, rainy weather. We're going to end the day with Love is in the Air.
And join us for cake out in the lobby.
Yay!
Because you're the special boy of the day.
Yes. You have to eat the cake with your chopsticks, though.
Ah!
Have a great week, everyone.
Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I know that I'm not being foolish, I know that I'm being wise, and it's something that I must believe in, 'cause it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air, in the whisper of the trees. Love is in the air, in the thunder of the sea. And I know that I'm not just dreaming, I know that I'm feeling sane, and it's something that I must believe in, 'cause it's there when you call out my name. Here we go. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Love is in the air, in the rising of the sun. Love is in the air, when the day is nearly done. And I know that it's not an illusion, I know what I see is true, and it's something that I must believe in, 'cause it's there when I reach out to you. Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I know that I'm not being foolish, I know that I'm being wise, and it's something that I must believe in, 'cause it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air. 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 Love is in the air.